Ephraim Kusaifi from Arab News Daily. A quick follow-up to your initial remarks and then a broader question. You have called on all countries who are financing and supplying arms to Sudan to stop doing so. You haven't done so in the case of Israel. What is your view on this? Would you like to see an arms embargo by states on Israel? That's the follow-up question. The second question is, High Commissioner, human rights have always been associated with the West. But since the Gaza genocide began, part of the shock that the world has been experiencing is watching many Western governments provide a cover for the war, financing it, supplying arms, cracking down at home against their own citizens who dare to take to the streets and call for an end of the war. My question to you is, what does that betrayal by Western countries to human rights means for those principles? And where do you see human rights going forward from here in light of this betrayal? And if you can, just a quick message also to those Western countries in particular. Thank you.
One thing is very clear. In any conflict and any war situation, there are obligations under the Geneva Conventions on International Humanitarian Law to ensure when they deliver support to any of the warring parties that they need to have due diligence applied that makes sure that whatever they do in terms of exports is not getting is not used for the commission of war crimes, crimes against humanity. That's an obligation. And that's an obligation that I've been pointing out before the Human Rights Council on numerous occasions in all the conflict situations in the relation to the Middle East, but also in relation to Myanmar and Sudan and many other situations as well, including, by the way, Haiti, where there is in fact an arms embargo by the Security Council, which needs to be respected. But unfortunately, there are still too many loose ends when it comes to that. Look, I really think it's important for everyone to ensure that human rights are not understood as a Western construct, but as a universal promise that was crafted after cataclysmic events, war, atrocity crimes, depression in terms of economic depression and so inequalities, and that what has been built up so painstakingly, which we did not have before the 10th of December 1948, is not lost on us, because it's the measure that we need to apply to each and every situation where human rights abuses occur, where human rights violations occur. And that's, in particular, my job to ensure that the United Nations is clear and is clear for everyone. We make no exceptions, and that we bring that voice very clearly to the fore, which is why I also said in my statement, the investment in human rights is at this critical juncture ever more important, because it's the one thing that we can cling on to and that people can claim in terms of accountability, in terms of fighting impunity and so forth. And we need to use it. We need to finally use it in a way that it hasn't been done before. And just one thing, because my first mission was Sudan as High Commissioner. I went to Sudan. I decided on purpose to go there 2 years ago. It was November 22, and I did it because I wanted to meet the people who managed to overthrow a military dictatorship, a cruel one, al-Bashir, and it was women and it was young people who did that. And for them, I can tell you, there was not even a question about theoretical things, whether this is Western or not. They fought for their freedoms. And let's not forget the decolonization, the anti-apartheid, the labor movement, feminism, the revolutions, the Haitian Revolution, the French Revolution, the US revolutions were all human rights movements. And they were nourished by all parts of the world, not just by the West.